This morning, Los Angeles is bracing for the final farewell to Michael Jackson.
A private family service expected to be held at Forest Lawn Cemetery just a short time before the public memorial in downtown Los Angeles. And we have team coverage of the Jackson Memorial. Sharon Chen live at 92.5 here in San Diego with fan reaction. But we'll begin with Elex Michaelson, who's live outside the Jackson family compound in Encino. Elex?
Good morning, Mark and Linda. We have several new developments here. First, we can confirm that Michael Jackson's casket will be at Staples Center as part of the public service later on today. We can also tell you that activity here has increased dramatically even in the last hour. The family has sent out a notice to neighbors that they should be leaving, it said, between 6 and 7:30. We've seen the convoy start to build up here. Just a few minutes ago, a car, which I believe with Jermaine Jackson inside, was just behind me. He paused, looked at some of the fans who are gathering here, said hello to them, and then headed back inside. But we are expecting the convoy to begin shortly. As you said, we expect them to head to the Forest Lawn Mortuary. Now, just some background on what the Forest Lawn Mortuary is all about. We saw a hearse there last night for Michael Jackson, but it's also been the home to some of the Hollywood greats, among them Bette Davis, Gene Autry, Sandra Dee, John Ritter, and just recently Ed McMahon was buried there. But really, the focus this morning of the world is going to be on Staples Center. This morning it is on lockdown. It's very hard to get around in several block perimeter. But last night, as you're looking at some of the live pictures from there right now, last night we headed out there. Security wasn't quite as intense. We had the opportunity to talk to some San Diegans who are coming, also from people around the world, all wanting to be a part to paying tribute to the King of Pop.
Michael's the best person in the world that ever walked this earth, that ever will walk this earth, bar none.
From the most fanatic MJ followers,
I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways.
to the performers. Staples Center was all Jackson everywhere.
Beginning to the end.
There's a lot of people from around the world all together, and everybody just getting along so great.
A few here had the sought-after tickets, including this Chula Vista resident.
I feel very just happy, excited, blessed to be here. I feel so lucky. This is just like winning the lottery.
Many of the hundreds of people lined up here at Staples Center don't even have tickets, but they just want to be a part of the celebration and are waiting over an hour to sign a Michael Jackson tribute wall.
Fan after fan left their note.
I'd come home from work and I would just dance by myself off the wall.
Even without a ticket, Ranchita's Donna Lee felt she needed to be here.
I'll be there, I'll be there.
Karen Dunn of Carlsbad doesn't have a ticket either.
I could never make it to one of his concerts. That's like I'm here for him. He knows that we're here.
She's emotional witnessing the outpouring.
I can't believe he's gone. I can't really talk about it. I just grew up with him, and I just can't believe he's gone.
Every time I hear a song, I can tell which part of my life. You know, oh, that's when I was a senior in high school. I was working at this place when Off the Wall came out.
Dennis Diaguirre of Mira Mesa remembers dancing his first song with his wife to Michael Jackson. He played only Jackson's music on his drive from San Diego.
It's like losing part of my adolescence. I mean, I grew up with a guy, and ironically, he gave up his adolescence to entertain us.
And when Donna finally got to sign, she felt it made the drive well worth it.
Just a proclamation of my love for Michael Jackson, because I love you very much.
Back here live now, we will continue to follow the family's movements here in Encino. But for now, what are some more San Diegans back at home talking about this? We're going to head to Sharon Chen, who's live from Magic 92.5 with that. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning, Alex. That's right. We are here this morning with Jagger and Christy, and we've been talking about Michael Jackson all morning long. A lot of viewers calling in, also expressing their thoughts on emails, too. Just tell us a little bit about what our viewers say, or listeners. I keep saying viewers, listeners.
Okay. Well, you know, I think everybody, it's shock. And I think it's because, like you mentioned before, it's something that we didn't really expect. I mean, looked like he was in training for a show, and it was just really unexpected. I think, and sadly, Farrah Fawcett, who passed away earlier, I mean, we knew that she had been ill for a while, and so her passing, sad, but it wasn't like Michael Jackson's where he was, there 1 minute, and then the next minute, he's gone at such a young age. And I know, and one of the things since that happened is people say, well, you were in radio, did you ever meet him? And he was such an elusive guy. I don't think a whole lot of people met him. I was working in L.A. in radio in the 80s at that time, and I happened to have a meeting at the CNN building, which is downtown in Hollywood. And as I'm walking through the parking garage, and there's nobody in there, and I see these three figures walking down the hallway there, down through the cars, and there's a guy that looks like Michael Jackson. And, of course, back in the 80s, there were so many impersonators that looked like Michael Jackson, and I thought, well, certainly it's probably just an impersonator. And as he got closer, I noticed that they were really bodyguards with the guy. And when he passed by, he sort of passed and stopped for a second, and I'm like, that's Michael Jackson. What do you say? Do you say anything? And I just kind of said hi, and he just kind of looked and flashed me the peace sign. And I turned around, and they got into this big Mercedes, and I thought, and it was weird. The feeling that stuck with me is that he looked so controlled, and apparently he had been doing an interview at CNN at the time, and I thought, if I could have just said, hey, you know what? Do you just want to go Fat Burger up in L.A. and just grab a burger and just kind of hang out? I mean, it's something that he would have loved because he just never got to do that. He looked so controlled. I wouldn't say that he looked sad, but it was just very stoic and very controlled, and it's funny because that feeling has stuck with me ever since then.
It's so cool because you have a story that very few people can share. And that is what we were talking about this morning, is that he kind of just wanted that normal life, which he never could have even a shred of it. Yeah, and really, and honestly, and that's so much the feeling that he projected as we passed by. I mean, because there was nobody else in the garage, and and now I kick myself. I wish I would have said more or said something, but I wasn't sure if the bodyguards were going to throw me to the ground at that point, because Michael Jackson was at the top of his game, and it's like, well, it's like the king or queen or the president. You just don't go up and just start talking and touching them. So I guess in hindsight, maybe it was okay, but yeah, to this day, that feeling stuck with me that he just really, I think, if he could have broken out of that for a minute and just done something fun. Maybe grabbed a bicycle and rode down the boardwalk and just been a regular guy for a minute. That'd have been something they would have loved, I mean, fame and fortune, I think we all wish we had it, but boy, there's a price. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Decker. And that is what we're talking about all morning long here is Michael Jackson. Coming up later at 8 o'clock, we're going to talk to Christy and some of the emails that she's been getting from listeners and the thoughts that they've been sharing. We'll have more coming up at 8. Live here in Kearney Mesa this morning, Sharon Chen, San Diego 6 News.